Now, this is going to be a lesson that is about removing trauma.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's what the lesson is about, removing trauma. We're all going to do this together. I'm going to actually work with Darren, and
Very good.
so you should all learn how to do trauma from this. And you're all welcome to say things if you think you see something you want to say. And I'm also filming this, and hopefully this lesson will be better than the one we have on the trauma right now.
Okay.
So we'll see about that. And this is Darren. So hi, Darren.
Hi, Byron.
Okay. And so I am going to be asking everybody to call out when I ask questions. I'm treating this like a class, okay? So this is a class with you guys, and I want to start by asking Darren a question about what you were telling me about the night before. I think it was the night before last, when you woke up and you couldn't get back to sleep. You found fear in a lot of your organs. Just tell the story a little bit, okay?
Okay, I decided to, or something decided that I should check my organs in relation to fear. And so I kind of would check every organ, and when I got to my lungs, what I noticed was it had something to do with my ex-husband and fear and not feeling safe. And so I looked up information on shields, and
that would be in the Webb College, right? You went to the
yes.
So this is in the middle of the night. This is at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Okay. So just so everybody knows that this is what you need to do to cure things. You need to be very, very, very committed to curing things, to the point where you get on your computer, in the middle of the night when you can't sleep, and find what you need. So what happened then?
So I did that, and then there was something about my heart, actually, and there was something going on in my heart. So I started to look at what that might be, and it seemed really to have to do with the trauma from the surgery I had 7 months ago.
Okay.
And
So there was something going on in your heart, like there was a trauma from the surgery, because you have cancer. You've been in treatment for around 10 years, right?
yeah, I've done mostly alternative stuff, and then I ended up having a major neuro back surgery because it was in my bones in my back.
Okay. So this is all about curing your cancer. That's what we're doing here on this call, taking out trauma.
Yes.
The idea is to take out trauma because possibly it's a cofactor causing the cancer.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what it seemed like, and I don't know who said it on one of these calls, but almost getting into this mode of a curing mode where you're looking at the different pieces of things and trying to kind of be a detective to figure out each step along the way, and I just went with that.
Yeah, you're using like the signals to follow a thread.
Yes.
To the causes and kill the causes.
Exactly.
Could you show us what your signal looks like? Just hold your hand up.
It's just like that.
Okay, so that's what your signal looks like. Okay. So what happened then? All right, you went on the web and you went in the Cure College looking for this, thing to do to take away this bad feeling, the insomnia, the bad feelings, the fear, the trauma from the heart operation.
Well, I went through every organ. I can't remember if there were other issues in other organs, but ultimately, when it was kind of all done, I had this sort of wave of peace and stillness and no pain. I've been in a lot of pain. And
you mean the pain like suddenly stopped?
I don't even know if it stopped or if it just sort of wasn't there. I don't know, because it seems as though there's a relationship between fear and trauma and pain and all of it anyway. So there was a stillness where there used to be pain and fear.
But you mean when you woke up, you were in pain?
Yeah.
And half an hour later after you did this, you weren't?
Yeah, I think so. I think I was so consumed with fear I wasn't thinking about pain quite so much, but I would say probably, yeah. I mean, in that moment, I was out of stress on all levels.
Okay.
So pain included, yeah.
So that is what you're doing here right now. Like you're telling us, this difference in you that happened. This is called the Accelerator.
Ah.
It's a skill. It's, I think, skill 2, and it's or maybe 3. And it's one of our most important skills because it makes you cure things faster. What you're doing right now is you're actually realizing what you did for yourself.
You mean the accelerator's happening now?
Yes,
Or
as you're... Okay, let me just tell you, okay, I've got the Accelerator page up on my screen. This is called Lesson the Accelerator. It's the short form. And it says, Part 1, what's the difference? The difference is a signal you've cured something. Like, what's gone at last is the first question in there. And you were just telling us the pain was gone.
right.
Okay, so this is what it looks like to do an accelerator in the real world, in practical terms.
You mean revisiting a kind of session I did with myself, or the session itself?
1 second. Greg, I think it probably would be best if maybe we didn't try to hook you up under the circumstances. Yeah, I'm okay, and I'm in the middle of doing it. So watch the movie when it comes out. It's going to be great. Okay, bye. Okay, so are we just going to try to stay with what we got here? So you were saying, yes, this is like saying what was different about you, saying what you accomplished, because you accomplished something when you did this. Yes.
Yes.
You cured something. And saying that makes it more likely that you'll cure the next thing.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? Like you're seeing your ability to cure things. So
Yeah.
yes, that's right. You're seeing your ability to cure things. So does anybody want to say or add anything to what Darren is saying?
Well, by acknowledging the cure and voicing how you're different, you're not hiding. Bard I keep going back to this in our calls. Bard had this lesson about if you hide your disease, you'll keep it. The other thing is, if you hide your cure, you won't keep the cure. By sharing the cure, by exposing the cure,
that's right.
You keep it in place.
That's right.
So the sure way to lose the cure is to hide it too.
That's right.
Yeah, I'd like to add. Can you hear me? Okay.
We hear you. Yeah, we can't see you, but sure, go ahead.
I was going to say that the one way that I relate to the accelerator is like bookmarking something. Like when you bookmark it in the computer, like just you remember it, you put a tab, like, oh, I remember what this feels like. I feel pretty good right now. And you're trying to like install, like have it be a new baseline experience. Like you don't want to go below that, or at least you know it exists, so you bookmark it, remember it. People who lose weight do this with their weight. They call it set point. And you can do it with the dimension you're on, or the way you feel, the pain. You understand what I'm saying? Like when you tested, like how do I feel different now after I did all that work on myself than before when I woke up, scared? And you notice like, hey, that's gone, and then you bookmark it. You feel it. You like remember where it is.
Well, right.
That's how I've used it.
Like you could test right now, am I less afraid? Just see if you get a signal on that, Darren.
Yeah, I get yes.
Okay, so 2 days later, you're less afraid. Because as you cure things, you start to realize you can cure things, and you simply, you lose your fear.
I
Yeah.
agree, but something's been going on in the last couple days where I'm waking up in fear again, and it feels like maybe I tickled the monster, and now it's really wants to be dealt with.
That's right. And you know what? This is going to get harder and scarier the closer you get to curing your cancer. I just probably should tell you that. And that's,
I'm glad you did.
That's
'cause
why
it's been pretty hard.
That's why we see. There's another question here, okay? And it says, "What did you discover?" And you just made a discovery that it's going to get harder and scarier. So that's an obvious thing you discovered. Test this question: am I still in the calm, clear place? And see if you get a yes on that.
Not getting a yes.
Okay, so maybe we'll retest that a little later and see if you get a yes on it. Do you have any new feelings since you cured that thing a few nights ago?
Feelings. I'm so all over the place these days.
So you mean you got lots of new feelings?
Yeah, but not necessarily good ones. I've been in a lot of fear and trying to make decisions and trying to understand what's going on. I do have some interesting information, though. I got chest X-rays yesterday, and of my thoracic spine, which is where I have all this hardware from the surgery. I have rods and stuff, and everything's fine. I was afraid I had fractures because I had been in so much pain.
Oh, great.
But it said that everything's fine, and there was no sign of disease on the X-rays.
Oh, good.
Now, which is amazing, and X-rays don't show soft tissue, so there's really a whole other world that I still have to look at. But that was really a test result where I got some good news finally.
Oh, great.
And
great. That's great.
So,
okay, now, Barb, I'm going to disconnect you and reconnect you.
Good idea, because...
So I'm going to try to... I'm going to try to reconnect Barb and see if that works.
Am I the only one who don't see Bayer's picture?
No, nobody sees it. I turned my camera off because it makes the other pictures bigger.
Oh.
So we won't be seeing me.
Bummer.
It's okay, he looks prettier as Franny.
Right. That's right.
And he has more hair that way, too.
No, it's still on.
Hi, Barb.
Hi. What's that? Yeah, it's on.
I guess we're not going to be able to... Oh, there you go. All right, lower your camera so it's easier to see you.
Okay.
All right. All right, you are back. Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay, now, I want to go on to something in the accelerator. There's a lot to the accelerator, Darren. So let me see. The next thing is, what does the difference in you mean? So I want to ask you, can you see some bad old behaviors that you were doing? Like, let's say when you woke up in the middle of the night frightened. were there some bad old behaviors that you used to do at that point that you can move away from now?
Well, I actually, last night I woke up and I started to write basically a letter to God. And it led me to a good place. When I write, it really helps me.
So there's a good new behavior.
Yeah, exactly.
That you can do to. And what was the bad old behavior that you used to do?
I would just lay there and freak out.
Okay, so you, instead of freaking out, you started chatting with the old man.
Right.
Very good. That's a good instinct. That's a very good instinct. See, can you see some new possibilities for achievement?
Well, yeah. Through the writing, I saw that I could move back to the house I own. I'm staying in a small house right now. That I could move home and actually have more of a life again.
Okay.
So,
That sounds good. That sounds very good. You know, there's something on here that you already did, and I just want to tell you about it, because it says actions, activities that you can now take, you know, that you've been avoiding, and you're naming them, like moving into the house and writing to God. These are actions and activities.
yeah.
So see, that's what the accelerator is about.
Okay.
Okay? Now, another part of the accelerator is new, easy responses, which is, test this question, am I more responsible?
Yes.
And to be responsible means to be able to respond, right? So you're more able to respond. Now, also test, am I more able to create confront in myself and other people, which means assigning responsibility where it belongs.
Oh. I'm not getting a yes, but my mind is agreeing.
But you're not getting a yes. And let's say the question again, am I more able to do that?
Yes.
Okay, because that was what the question was. It didn't mean that you are or were or anything. It just meant are you more able.
Yeah, okay.
Now, what are some things in your life that can interfere with your forward progress?
Well, pain.
Okay.
Pain is sort of the dominating problem right now.
Now, when you're in pain, do you start like deciding like not to cure things anymore? Or do you start to run? Do you feel like running?
Yes.
You want to just stop trying to help yourself.
Yeah, that's a bit of what's been going on in the last day or two. Just.
Well, this is a lot of people. A lot of people just throw their weapons down at the first shot and they turn tail and run and get shot in the back. That's what they do.
Literally.
So, but okay. So now let's say we've done an accelerator here. This is good. And now what we're going to do now is we're going to do trauma. And that is our movie. Now, I just want to say that if you want to speak to somebody, I would be available, possibly. And also, my outgoing message on my phone does give instructions about how to start if you haven't started yet. So, or you can just, leave me a message and I'll get back to you. So please feel free to call me. I'd be happy to speak to you. And here's my number. It's 813-672-3419. And I hope you enjoyed this movie. And it's fine to call me up and just tell me how you felt about it.